Here is a Honeywell 16-inch oscillating pedestal fan. I acquired one very similar to this a while back. It's an electronics controls version, and with my disposition to electronics controls, my first thought with that unit was, I wonder if there is a mechanical control version of this. Well, there is, and here it is. This is the old school child-proof speed control and the rectangular oscillation knob. Oh, here's the informations. It is the Honeywell HS-1620. It's made in China. 120 volts, 0.52 the amps. I don't know what the TP is. I've got a question. Maybe I should call that number and ask. The UL tag dates it to 2000. This was likely sold in the very, very early 2000s. 2000, 2001, 2002, somewhere in that range. I remember seeing these around a fair bit at that time. I remember seeing some of these in school. These were, I guess you could argue these are better quality than some of the other stuff that was made at the time. I definitely questioned the aerodynamics of the blades. I think the only blade set of this that's really built properly is that 18-inch floor fan, because it has at least a pretty good pitch to it. These blades have very, very little pitch, and so this blade ends up being noisy because it's just running so quickly to move any amount of air, which is a shame, because if this had some more pitch, this would probably be very aerodynamic. It just doesn't have enough pitch. The stand on this seems to be pretty solid too. A lot of times when you find a pedestal fan that's of any age, the stand is all mangled and screwed up, but this is a pretty solid design. These don't really have any inclination to turn left or right. It's just overall pretty solid. And I'm not sure if this is continuous height adjustment or if this can just be mounted directly to the bottom. I don't know. Let me take a look. It doesn't seem like it's continuous adjustment. Oh, it is. And this goes quite tall. Okay, so it goes, that was all the way down. Goes up another 10 to 12 inches. And although that is a plastic mechanism, it seems to lock in place pretty well. So now that's quite tall. I can't even get the whole thing in the frame here. Yep. It's caused an avalanche over here. It's got some weird design to the guard in terms of how it holds together. Some flaky plastic clip thing. Really not sure I see that being super reliable over time, but in its defense, it's lasted, or has it lasted, or is it already broken? It looks like this would focus. It looks like this has to go inside like that. Let me see if I can get it. I think the problem here is that the guard is not lined up correctly, because when this closes, oh no, it's lined up now. Yeah, it's closed. Now it is anyways. So, although, yeah, I really feel like that's not gonna hold up for more than a couple uses. In its defense, it's still good. Not sure how, but it is. I'm not really sure how the rest of the guard is held on. I guess this is just like there's a lip there that keeps it in place. Oh, there's a couple tabs. So that's probably like the final locking mechanism, and then you can pull all the tabs out from around the outside. Not a great design, but it's definitely better than that stupid plastic ring that goes around the whole thing. Looks like it's very low hours. Of course, granted this is all blurry, but that's pretty clear. I don't see much dust in there at all. This seems to be pretty much like new. The plastic on the motor housing is definitely starting to deteriorate a touch, I think. It's got that weird appearance to it. Same thing with the handle. Although it doesn't feel chalky at all. Usually when the plastic starts to break down, you can feel it. This plastic feels perfectly normal and strong. So maybe that's just the way the plastic was molded, I don't know. Well, this is a good find. I really like this era of fans. You know, this is what I grew up with. I remember seeing stuff like this around all the time back in the 2000s. Some of the last, like, really decent quality stuff, too. I don't know what these would have retailed for, but I suspect it was probably at least in the $20 range. Interestingly, the logo is the same kind of green colored font that some of the Duracraft stuff used. I always forget, was it, I think Holmes, oh, I just crashed. I think Honeywell and Duracraft were both part of CAS. It was Holmes, I think, that wasn't part of CAS, so I guess that makes sense. And Duracraft, like Honeywell, I would also say was one of the better quality brands at the time. The plug is kind of jacked up, so let's get this corrected and then we'll test it out. The last couple of weeks has yielded a bunch of pretty neat fans, which is good timing because I always go through a period of fan inactivity in the fall because it's just too cold. But then around Christmas time, we can start to use fans again, mostly in the living room. Actually, we use fans quite a bit in the living room during Christmas time, so we'll get the chance to use all these fans without having to wait until spring or summer. Okay, let's go ahead and test this out. I think we said the amps was like 0.54, so we'll keep that in mind, and we'll begin on the low. There's a touch of dry bearing noise on the startup, but otherwise pretty reasonable. I should have turned on this other microphone earlier. I'll put this right here, capture the sound of the fan. Definitely not the quietest fan I've heard. And it's not a very fast draft like what we're getting outside. Holy mackerel, look at that. It's like a stinking hurricane out there today. It's been like this for 2 or 3 days now. It's outrageous. Anyways, it's not a very strong breeze, but it carries very well. It feels to me almost as strong as it does like 2 or 3 feet back as it does all the way across the room. The travel on these is really quite impressive. That is just something else out there with that wind. It makes it feel so cold when it's like this. It's only 43 degrees today, which isn't, you know, that's pretty seasonal. It's not super frigid. It if it was sunny out and not windy, I could be outside to do work, put the Christmas lights up, etc. But with this wind, I haven't been able to get anything done outside with the Christmas lights since I did the icicles. It's just been too windy to be outside. And the wind chill is in like the 30s or 20s when it's this strong. According to my weather unit here, we're having sustained winds of 19 miles per hour on the ground, which means up to the tree line it's got to be 40 or 50. And the wind chill is 37 degrees. That's measuring at 7 miles an hour. So that's, that's pretty strong. Pretty strong wind and pretty cold temperatures. 19 miles an hour on the ground is that's strong. Those are strong gusts. Anyways, back to this weaker gust. Yeah, very, very good travel. The power information is 0.35 amps, 40.5 watts. Power factor 94. Respectable. The medium. The switch just got stuck down, but that's fine. I think those are kind of annoying. Decent variance in the speeds. A lot more noise, but there was a fair bit of increase in airflow. Yeah, I stand by these being some of the better quality fans at the time. And this is into the era where stuff was getting pretty dodgy in terms of quality. Once you get past the 90s, cost cutting just became ridiculous. You could still get decent stuff in the 2000s, but it was selective. Yeah, and this is a good example. This, if you selected it carefully, this was a pretty decent product. Has lost its, oh, there we go, it just fixed itself. This is de-sticking, it's stuck down now. It's supposed to pop back up because now the child safety aspect is gone. This one works pretty easily though. Some of these I find that they're not very reliable, these switches. This one seems pretty good. Except for the fact that don't come back up. It's loud on high. No beating around the bush on that one, but it is pushing good air. It probably pushes more air than a 3733 12 nowadays. It's a fair assessment. I'd say this is more powerful than 3733. So this has got to be at least like 10,000. And again, the air carries very, very nicely across a pretty good distance. It's a strong breeze, but it's nothing like the old Astro Galaxy ones. And Alaska, whatever the model number is, that one right there, that was sold just a couple of years before this, and that one can blow this out of the water. Those Alaskos were exceptionally powerful fans. Across the room. And 460 is 61, power factor 99. just under what it's rated for. That's reasonable. And the balance is really quite respectable. I can feel very little vibration out of it. Let's see if the oscillation works. Seems to. I'll center the fan so that it's pointing away with the camera so you can get an idea of how wide the oscillation is. It seems to be pretty typical. It is oscillating over 250. I don't feel a whole lot of air. I'm feeling 5 feet behind the camera, and it's moving too quick. It's not letting the air travel before it passes by. You can probably feel it at both points on the end, but in between it just goes too fast. And I find that to be the case with a lot of oscillating fans, and I kind of don't understand oscillating fans in a lot of respects because of that. And I wonder how much the oscillating aspect is just a salesman, really. Although oscillating fans can date back 100 years, so and some of the old ones oscillate really fast too. This does have a good range of speeds. Yeah, funny enough, I can actually feel more air from it as it sweeps now, just because it's oscillating slowly. Yeah, the bearings are definitely kind of stiff, but it's probably never been used or oiled for 25 years, so fair enough.